Okay, next what we're going to do is go ahead and install the handlebars. Now, you may notice this is actually a 1-inch steer tube with a threaded headset. And typically you would install an older vintage style, quill style stem in here. But we've gone with an actual quill adapter, and there's a couple reasons for that. One is Steve has some arrow bars that would clamp to either side of the stem face, and they require the 31.8 diameter handlebar clamp. And it's not easy to find an actual quill style stem with that bigger diameter face bar clamp. Plus there's just a much bigger selection of handlebars out there for this size diameter. So we've gone with this adapter instead. I think it's going to look pretty good on here. Now what I've done is I've assembled this whole piece so that it's just easier to put on here. Basically what we're doing is we are installing all the contact points, the pedals, the handlebars, and then we'll get to the seat, and then that way we can kind of sit on the bike and get a good position for where the shifters go. I've already greased all this up, the threads, and a little bit on the stem itself, which will just help prevent any corroding or anything down inside this fork steer tube. All right, here we are. We've got the stem and handlebars installed. Got those bars, you know, pretty level with the top tube there. That gives us a good starting point. Next step is to put the seat on and then get an idea of where the shifter brake levers should be installed on the bars. All right, we got the seat installed. I didn't want to bore you with that. That's a pretty pretty mundane installation. You might notice though I switched out the seat post. The one that I was using to just hold the frame in was just an old alloy frame or alloy post, but this one is a nice felt carbon fiber, so that's what we're going to go with. Next I'm going to go ahead and put on the brake calipers, and what I have is a nice set of Shimano 600 dual pivot rim brakes. These are pretty nice and kind of period correct for the frame. They are dual pivot, so while they're a little bit heavier than like an Ultegra or Dura-Ace brake set, they're going to give the same, you know, solid clamping force. So these are really nice, and I'll get some close-ups of the detail on these after we get them installed. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I've got the wheel set we're going to use, and I'm installing the cassette. This is a Shimano 10-speed 105 cassette, and if you look on the free hub body here, you'll see there's one spline that's a little bit skinnier than the rest. That's a great place or a great way to line these up. You can just find that same width on the cassette cog that you're installing, and then that should just slide right on there. And then you just move on to the next, and so on and so forth. Alright, the last thing we're going to do for today is to get these shifters installed. And what I have here is a really nice set, I mean almost like new set of 105 10-speed shifters. Really like these overall. They have the external cable routing, which is great for this bike frame, and real clean, crisp shifting. So we'll get those mounted on the bar and kind of sized up correctly or adjusted appropriately, and then we'll call it a day. All right, I feel like we've got a lot done today, and it's looking really good. I can't wait to get up on the saddle and check the shifter position, and then after that we'll put on the front and rear derailleur, some brake cables, take it for a spin, and if everything rides like it should, we'll finish up the cable routing and wrap the bars. It won't be long and this bike will be ready for some Ozark back roads and New York City streets.